This is a basic Dacia Sandero. It costs you 5,995 quid. And here's what you get and don't get for your money. You have to adjust the mirrors manually. You get no AC, no radio, only one colour option, which is white, black bumpers, no central locking, steel wheels without even plastic on top of it. You get one engine choice, a 1.2 litre, one gearbox choice, just a manual, and you get no electric windows. But if you want a radio, you can pay 250 quid for it when you get that Kenwood stereo thing there. Now I know what you're thinking, I should be using this basic Dacia Sandero, but this car costs more and so the prices are higher, which makes it easier. But no, what we're doing today is 10 sports cars that are used that you can buy for the same price or less than a basic Dacia Sandero, the previous generation. So 6k, not any more than that. That way makes it harder. But anyway, we are going to ignore all maintenance and reliability just to make it easier for ourselves. Okay, and easier for me. But anyway, let's get into it. I will show you the car specs and I'll show you some that I found on the app and website called Auto Trader. So first one is the Peugeot 208 GTI with a 1.6 litre 4-cylinder, 200 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 6.5 seconds, and a top speed of 143 miles an hour. This car is quite good. It's fast, it handles really well. If you're Richard Hammond, you can get some lift-off oversteer in it, and it's much better than its predecessor, the 207 GTI. And here are some that I found on Auto Trader. They do have quite a lot of miles on it, but some also don't. So you go for whatever one you want to go for. Next is the Toyota Celica 1.8 VVTLi with 192 horsepower from a 1.8 litre 4-cylinder. 0 to 60, 7.2 seconds. Top speed 140 miles an hour. Here are some that I found on Auto Trader, and they do have quite a lot of miles on them. But don't forget, it is a Toyota, so besides normal maintenance, you really don't have anything to worry about. Next is the Porsche Boxster. This car has a 3.2 litre flat 6. You could also get a 2.7 litre engine, and if you did get the 3.2, it had 252 horsepower, but you could get it with 8 more horsepower a few years later. But anyway, this car had a 0 to 60 time of 5.7 seconds and a top speed of 162 miles an hour. And here are some that I have found on Auto Trader. The 3.2s are on the left and the 2.7s are on the right. So really you just go what you really want to go for, with mileage being quite high, but unfortunately I don't know anything about Porsche reliability. Next is the Ford Mondeo ST220, 3 litre V6, 226 horsepower. 0 to 60, 7.3 seconds, and a top speed of 151 miles an hour. I really like this car, I don't know why. I also like this blue, I think it's just so gorgeous. And here are some that I found on Auto Trader. You can also get an estate version if you want. If you're a practical man, then you go ahead and get an estate. Miles are again quite high, but I did find some that are not here that had considerably bit of lower mileage than shown in here. Next is the Subaru Impreza WRX, the second generation with the bug and the blob eye. Now if you wanted, you could get this saloon version or you could get the estate version, but either way, if you get the saloon, it had a 2 litre flat 4 like the estate with 218 horsepower, but the 0 to 60 and top speed differ, with the saloon having 5.7 0 to 60 and a top speed of 144 miles an hour, with the estate being a little bit less. But you can find both for less than 6k. And well, once again, very high mileage. All of them have over 100,000 miles on it. That's something. Next is the Audi TT 3.2 litre VR6, second generation. If you don't know what a VR6 is, it's basically like a V6, 3 pistons on one side, 3 pistons on the other. except the pistons and cylinders are mounted at a different angle instead. But anyway, it had 250 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 5.7 seconds, and top speed limited to 155 miles an hour. This, well, I think it is the best generation for the Audi TT personally. And here are some that I found on Auto Trader. I got nothing else to say. Next is the Vauxhall Astra VXR, 2 litre inline-4 engine, 240 horsepower in a front-wheel drive car. Wow. 0 to 60, 6.2 seconds, top speed of 152 miles an hour. As is General Motors, as you all know, I really ain't a fan of it. But either way, if you like it, you like it. If you want to buy it, you go buy it. I have no complaints, and here are some that I found on Auto Trader. Unfortunately, I don't know much about Vauxhalls. I know they're not the most reliable thing known to man. Don't know how reliable they actually are though. Next is the Mazda MX-5 with a 2 litre inline-4, 160 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 7.4 seconds, and a top speed of 132 miles an hour. This, I believe, is the Mark III version that I'm talking about. I don't actually know my MX-5s very well. MX-5 people are now going to come and attack me for it. But here are some that I found on Auto Trader for that price. You can also get the older original generation if you want to, and the Mark II if you want, depending on which one is your favourite. Next is the Volkswagen Golf R32, 3.2 litre VR6. It's pretty much the same or similar to the Audi, I don't know the engine codes. 250 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 6.3 seconds, and the top speed limited to 155 miles an hour. And, well, I really like this car. I think it sounds absolutely brilliant. This blue looks gorgeous. The grille with the R32 on it actually looks decent, actually it looks good. And, well, that's the only reason why I really like it, and it's an all-wheel drive hatch. Here are some that I found on Auto Trader. You could even buy the old one if you wanted to. And lastly is the Honda Civic Type R EP3. I hope that's the right one, because I don't know. 2 litre inline-4 with VTEC group, 200 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 6.4 seconds, and a top speed of 146 miles an hour. Pretty much similar stats to Subaru BRZ or Toyota GT86, except for the top speed of 0 to 60 time. Everything else 2 litres, 4 cylinder, 200 horsepower. But yeah, here are some that I found on Auto Trader. You could buy the FN2 version, but I really don't like those. I think there's just too much going on that. It looks too fancy for a Civic, but this one I think it looks just about right. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed looking at 10 sports cars you can buy that cost the same or less as a basic Dacia Sandero that isn't even a new one. But anyway, please subscribe, like, comment, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.